Hey guys, what's going on? It is TC here back with the first episode of Wilfred Woes. That's a working title, so if that's changed next time you check this out, don't be surprised. But let me take a sip from this 2-liter really quick. I know, what a great showing, 20 seconds in. And you see this guy is drinking from a 2-liter Mountain Dew. Well, it's because I am broke, and I'm not going to pay $1.99 for a small 24 fluid ounce container when I could get that for $1.79. Just not going to happen. Why would I do that? I mean, do I look like a weirdo? Absolutely. Am I trying to say that it looks good? Absolutely not. But at the same time, I'm not going to waste 20 cents to get less of a product. Like, that's just basic math. You guys can feel however you want about it, but that settles the debate for me. I get to save 20 cents, and I get double. More than double. It's like 3 times. I don't know. How many fluid ounces is this? I don't know, but it's 2 liters, so whatever that is compared to fluid ounces. Quart, how many ounces are in a cup? Oh my God, this is too much math. That's a different type of math. But anyway, all I'm saying is it's more, it's better. Deal with it. Hate me for it. Just tell me in the comment section how you feel about it, really. If you want to rip on me, go ahead. Criticize me all you want. Mom, okay, this wasn't one day right here doing this, all right? Wasn't a one-day thing, all right? So calm down. You don't need to get on my butt about how much soda I drink all the time. And I'm just saying that because I know she's watching this, and I occasionally go home to my mother, so just try not to be having that conversation. I'm sure you guys know what that's like, going home and having to deal with that every time you see your mom. But, it's not every time for me. I get that fortune, I should say. But going into what we're doing here today, we're going to be talking about the FX show Wilfred. Now, this show has been canceled. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably heard about it, especially if you're like, did I hear about that? And I explain it. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be like, oh my God, that show. And a lot of you are going to hate it. Some of you are going to like it if you actually see it. But here's the thing. Wilfred is a really good show, and we're going to dive into that today. We're going to break down why it's good. We're going to talk about the first episode a little bit, and I'm going to try to convince you guys to watch it. My co-host to the Winner Circle, the guy I mention all the time on TC Talks, the guy that I try to get on here as much as I can, but I'm kind of lacking, in terms of posting all that stuff. So that's on me. He's always been there for the Winner Circle, except for this last time. That was the first time he missed it, and that was due to kind of what Zach Levine has to deal with, health and safety protocols. So here I am, bringing you guys something a little different, and what we're going to be doing is talking about Wilfred. I already said that. I don't know why I said it again, but without further ado, let's just dive on in. We don't believe in cutting or anything. We're just going straight in at this point. We messed up, but it's okay. We're going to address it for another 20 seconds to make the mess up even worse. That's how we do it here. But in the show Wilfred, basically the intro episode is, and this is in the trailer too, so don't worry about it, is a guy going to kill himself. He decides to make this smoothie, dumps a bunch of stuff in there that makes him go off, and I'm not really going to say what that is, but I'm sure a lot of you guys have a good idea about what that could be. But the thing that I need to get to is he wakes up, or he's trying to do all this, hours are going by, nothing's happening, so then eventually there's a knock, there's a ring on his doorbell, and he goes to answer the door, and while he's talking to the neighbor that approached him, he sees this dude out in the distance, right at the end of his lawn, and he's dressed in a full dog costume, smoking a cigarette, and he's just so dazed and confused. He's blown out of his mind. So he's just like, not even listening to the neighbor. And he's just like, what? And she's like, oh yeah, that's too much of me to ask for you. And he's like, no, it's okay. And then next thing you know, that man in the dog costume comes forward as his neighbor's dog. And at first you're like, do we does she not know? Like, is she one of those people that does that sort of thing? Like, what is going on here? We weren't really getting cued in, right? And eventually we come to find out that Ryan, as far as we know at the end of the episode, is the only one that sees a human in a dog costume. Everybody else just sees the dog, right? So he goes on and has all these wacky adventures, and yeah, I mean, some of them are how would you say nicely, distasteful. Sure. It's an adult show all the way. It's something that you definitely got to be a certain age to check out, because there is a lot of adult content. So, be mindful of that. But, I mean, it's a great show and it has a great overall message every episode. So, one of the things that you'll come to see if you do watch the show is the fact that every show starts off with a cute little title card and song intro where, it gives you the title of the show, but then there's this nice quote from some famous person. And, I don't know what any of them are. I did at some point. I knew like the whole first season titles, but I don't at this point. It's been a few years, but they're so good, and it kind of just already gives you that idea of they want you to think. They want you to have this quote in the back of your mind while you're watching the show, and this specific part of the quote, like some of them are like trust or fear, stuff like that, like human emotion, and or just more the human condition, I guess. So that's basically the premise of this show. And especially when you view it through that lens, when you have that understanding, everything that goes on, it seems a lot more wholesome. It's a lot, you understand why it happens. And the show kind of pokes fun at itself like that too, how it kind of does all this wackiness to have a bigger purpose to it. But at the same time, they do it in a way where it's not, like I just said, so bland and direct. They do it, through a guy in a dog costume who may or may not be a god or a hallucination or God knows what else. So, I'll leave it at that for, how deep I'm going to go in terms of explaining the show. But honestly, this is something you guys are going to want to check out. I mean, the first episode alone has them commit multiple felonies together, and you wouldn't believe what Wilfred does to Ryan at the end of the episode. I'm going to say I was surprised. I was blown away the first time I saw it. Like, honestly, looking back, because you remember I was saying to myself the other day, Wilfred really is almost like the antithesis of a dog, right? Because we think of dogs as like those good boys, those guys and gals who never do anything wrong, right? And the fact of the matter is, Wilfred is always getting into those shenanigans. So sorry, something just happened over there. So for Wilfred to behave like he does, but still give off the vibe of a dog at the same time, I think it's a very unique thing, because I think, Brian kind of has quirks as a dog, but he really seems more like a human than a dog. Wilfred still has that more dog versus human nature, where he's more in tune with, animal instincts and, and the limits of dog, legs, essentially, and all that stuff. Whereas Brian's just like, yeah, I could do this. Sorry, Mom. But you know what I'm saying. Brian's able to use his thumbs. But I guess in a world where everybody else only has 4 fingers, it makes sense. So, but Wilfred is a great show. Definitely go check it out. I know this wasn't a great selling pitch, so let me give you one more, okay? One of the most popular things in modern culture are investigative dramas. You know, something along the lines of like Tiger King, where they're investigating this issue and this conflict going on between this guy and this other woman, and, you know, a bunch of crazy stories in between. And honestly, the thing about it is everybody likes to guess and have all these reasonings as to why things could be this way or that way. And especially with like TV crime shows, like everyone likes, you know, trying to be that detective. It's very popular right now. So Wilfred is one of those shows that has an obvious open-ended question. You know, I was just talking about it, how what is Wilfred is really the question. And in my opinion, the show really leaves that ambiguous throughout the whole show up until the ending. Now, if it was to go a certain way, I would understand how they got to that conclusion. But at the same time, I think that the show makes it so ambiguous on purpose, because we're not supposed to know what Wilfred is at the end of the day. At least I don't think so. But others will disagree with me. But overall, the show is really all about, you know, these questions. And it's all about, that's really what the show is. It's all about questions and answers, conflict and solution. It's not supposed to be one of those things that's gonna, you know, cut away at the end of the episode where, you know, like Grey's Anatomy, right? I just watched probably the second episode of Grey's Anatomy I've ever watched, but the first one, the only one I can remember anything about, it's when they get hacked. And yeah, but basically, maybe it wasn't that one. I don't know. But anyway, either way, one of the ends of the episode was, I don't know, someone's ex-husband in the ICU or something like that. And that woman and her current boyfriend in street clothes, so they came in with him, is the assumption. And then the main character, I don't even know what her first name is, Gray, comes in and she's like, oh my God, what happened? Essentially. I don't remember if she said that, but she kind of had that look on her face. So my point being is, Wilfred's going to give you those answers, except for really that one question, what is Wilfred? And that's just supposed to be the overarching theme of the show, is Ryan understanding himself, Ryan understanding the world around him, and there's constant evolution within the character, and that's kind of how we get to the speculation as to what Wilfred is anyway, is because Ryan has to grow and learn and stuff like that. So it really is worth your while to watch. It's definitely a lot deeper than you expect, and honestly, like, there are moments, I wouldn't say it's hard not to cry, but I would say it's really easy to. You know, if you're someone who cries easy, and honestly I kind of am, then you're probably gonna, you know, be fighting back tears or tearing up pretty bad. If you're somebody who's like, nothing on the inside, nothing on the outside, like BoJack Horseman, then no, this isn't gonna hurt you like that, obviously. But you guys get what I'm saying. If you're picking it up when I'm putting down, or you're turning it off really when I'm talking like that. But I'll leave it there. I let this video go a little too long, but if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. We are on the hunt for 50 subscribers, so you subscribing means a lot. We're going to have a lot more Wilfred content coming your way, and I promise you it's going to be better. I just really have to wait for my phone to charge, really, and I needed something to do, so I thought, hey, bring those guys a video. They will definitely enjoy it, and I get to preview the next series that I'm going to be working on, which is Wilfred. So that has been really cool and fun as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You can let me know in the comment section down below. This has been TC with Wilfred. See, yeah, that's not going to do it. Wilfred Woes. Yeah, no, we're getting rid of that. But Wilfred Woes for right now. That sounds terrible. I will see you next time.